My mom has graciously lent a portion of her shell collection for today's video. I tried to arrange them aesthetically, but there is no way they're going to stay where they are by the time I say bye. So we'll just kind of enjoy it right now. I also discovered this book from 1976, and I've already learned a little something about shells. Like this guy, it's a cowrie. Like I feel like I knew that, but I never really associated what a cowrie was. And they actually used to be used for money. So for about 60,000 of these, you get yourself a nice young healthy wife. Or if you only had 25, you could get a chicken. What's really cool about this book is that it uses illustrations of the shells, which kind of help you break it down, I feel like. I like ways to turn them into jewelry. That'd be like perfect, you know, for mermaids. Anyway, it's so cool. Worm shells, ew, that's kind of gross. Anyway, I thought I could use both these as references and some of these little illustrations to kind of create like a fun mermaid drawing. And I have been participating over on Instagram daily so far. But they've been like pencil sketches, so I thought, why not? I've got a little time. Let's put a little effort into it and see if we can make like a full color illustration and see what happens. We're going to start in the sketchbook and we'll figure it out. Oh look, we're already moving these guys. Sorry. So why don't I start? I think my goal is to use markers. I was kind of like contemplating using acrylic paint, but I also haven't used my markers in a while. So I want to do that. We're going to prep the illustration in my sketchbook and then we'll jump into a piece of paper so that it matches my mermaid illustration so far. So far in Mermaid, I've just like grabbed a piece of paper and kind of just drawn a mermaid with no plan. So I thought if we put a plan into it, maybe it'll turn out better. It's not always the case. I definitely want to very heavily be influenced by the shells that I have accumulated here. If you do want to see all the mermaid drawings, check out the Instagram. It'll be linked. All right, let's start drawing. Literally this whole time I've been talking, my eyes have been scanning, trying to find something to draw with. These are not such things. Okay, here's a purple pencil. That'll work. I'll just sharpen it a little. Ooh, it's gonna be one of those days. When it comes to colors, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I know I want the pose to be very soft and squishy. That's like the best part about drawing mermaids is just the fact that you don't really have to worry about a bone structure for the most part. We're gonna take full advantage of that. I also wouldn't mind kind of playing around with the style to make it a little bit more cartoony, match a blobfish a little more maybe. I don't know, we've got lots of room here for experimenting. Been trying to avoid hands on hips for the mermaids. Is today the day that changes? We gotta have lots of room for these shells. Here I just sort of built up sketchy shapes. Oh, we forgot the hair. If you want to do long hair, they get a ponytail. There, we've put something on paper, warmed up the wrist a little bit. Now it's time to start making some decisions. So that's kind of what I've been doing every day for Mermaid. It's just kind of going with the very first thing that pops out. But like I said, I want it to be different. I would love to incorporate some of these cowries just because it makes me think of a blub. These I've been trying to incorporate into the art, but I didn't have a reference at the time I drew most of them. So I'd also love to include this now that I am looking at one. It fits. Does this make me queen of the sea? The other thing is I love this shell. The colors, they just feel so retro to me. I would love to incorporate those colors. We will see. So yeah, my favorite thing about drawing mermaids is big swooshy shapes, so I'm sure the end result will have those two things. I've also been including a lot of like random pieces of seaweed because they're really quick to make and look intricate. Like look at that. Look at that. I still haven't included any of the shells. That means I'm nervous. Like obviously we can include some of these. Hey, Google. Scallops. They're called scallops. Why not do that? That's a nice classic seashell bra. Start simple, but with a reference. Square edge on the bottom. Okay, definitely not enough coverage for my liking. Could do bigger ones. This would be kind of cool. Like if we, something like this and it kind of like comes down. Let me see. Wait, while that thought is here. Let's see. So we have like a body, torso, like this. Maybe this direction. Obviously this is a little bigger than realistic. So then this side has more of this edge. Looks kind of like this. How's that? How's that for a bra? A false angel wing is what it's called. Should probably find the body under here. Wait, 1 second. It's kind of hard. I don't know if they're quite the right size. Like obviously they're way too big. But I mean for the illustration, does it seem too big? It's a look, but it's not the look. I think I can lock in that answer. I mean, unless I shrink them down maybe. But this is what I pictured. When you could use like strings of pearls to connect here or something. Maybe straps. Ooh, I'm pushing too hard. I can feel it in my wrist. Oof. I'm taking this too serious. There is parts that I really like about it, but I also am not sure. I feel like she might require a little longer tail. I like the coverage, but because it's like such a, you know, it's a shell. It's like big and clunky. Like if she turned to the side, it would just look like this, you know? I think it's just too stiff. Well, clearly I'm not feeling it. So let me try some other things. I think looking through here is probably pretty helpful. Lentil traps. It's a new word for my vocabulary. You can also mix like, you know, plants. Doesn't have to be a shell. Although I do still want to use a lot of shells since they're, you know, here. I'd also love to just like, just add a little dimension there. That was just with the colorless blender over a cool erase pencil. Kind of see how it alters the color a little bit. I think I'm thinking about this wrong, I think. I feel like what I need to do is look at it more the way I usually approach a character design, like smaller silhouettes and then the shape. So like what would look good with what? I can't see. You know, like if you did huge shells of some kind, then you have like the tiny little arms sticking out, you know? And then you can have a slim little body. Or you could do something with smaller shells and like, you know, it's the contrast between small shapes and big shapes. Like you want to keep kind of like switching, but you also don't want it to be overbearing with like too many variations either. So it's making tiny silhouettes usually can help in like finding those mistakes before you put too much effort in. Okay, this one's interesting. I feel like I should look at some fish to get like references for the tail. You'd think after drawing so many mermaids I would have this sort of figured out, but it changes every time. And like since there's so much action happening right here, we don't want hair kind of like taking up that space. So I'm gonna give her a tiny little bun, kind of like break it up, give it some space, let your eye catch its breath between here and here because there's a lot going on. Maybe we could add some of the seaweed. Such an easy way to add a little detail and visual interest. And then silhouettes also help when you're doing colors, so you can separate the colors much more easily and see how it's working, again without putting too much time and effort into it. So far I like this boring old classic one the best, which is kind of sad. Just work on some more thumbnails, kind of change up the variation of shapes. Tail, give it some scales. I wouldn't mind like trying some of these like patterns that are on the shells on the actual tail. So it's almost like the mermaid is part seashell. And then when it comes to the seashells, what do we want to do? I wouldn't mind like something that's more asymmetrical. Just kind of make it look like a shell. So if it's got like a shell pattern, we could go with like something a bit more modern, you know? Yeah, because if we go like, if we pay more attention to the patterns of the shell, I feel like we can kind of change up the shapes and be way more experimentative and like make them look more like modern clothing. Problem is there's not really a lot going for this one. Doesn't have a contrast. What's like a cool outfit people wear these days? T-shirts? Oversized t-shirt? That's like one of my go-tos to draw. Let's just try it. Maybe cuff it, so it's even more oversized. Also, this is probably obvious, but I've not been following any prompts. I've just been drawing mermaids, and it's been really fun. Prompts would probably come in handy on the days where I'm like, what am I going to draw? But, you know, if I do run out of ideas completely, I will probably consult a prompt. But today's not that day. I'm gonna try my darndest to not go with a nice casual look. Maybe some buns, space buns. We could do that thing where those t-shirts that have the shells drawn on. Kind of funny actually. Kind of hard to like do like sneakers or something in mermaid format. We could do some kind of seashell up here. Seaweed. Ooh, that does look cool as something to like tie hair back. I don't know if I've tried that before. It makes so much sense. Okay, so there's an idea. Not the one I'm gonna go with. Maybe I'm taking it too serious. You know, maybe... Oh, we didn't do any of these like stripey. What if we use it as a hat? What if this character has one of these underhead with stripes? A nice silhouette. Do we want hair kind of poking out like a hermit crab? That's kind of a good look. I do like that. What do we do with the costume or the outfit? Not sure what the pose is, but I'm gonna just let it happen. Could be a boy. Could be a boy. Never thought of that before. That was a joke, but also kind of grounded in reality. I like the like wispy hair. It's gonna be really fun to draw. I mean, it is, but you know, repeatedly. Ooh, we can make the tail kind of like similar to the hair. Try it. All right, that one's got some merit. That one's fun. It definitely needs like something to make it spark a little more interest. If we work on the composition, still could be really cool. Maybe give them like a satchel to collect things like Ariel. Could make the satchel be made of a shell. Let me try that. Like it's like one of these shells. Got a little purse. It's a concept. I do want to start planning out like the composition. So we're gonna move into these little cubes because that's kind of roughly the dimension of a piece of paper I plan on drawing it on. One of these guys. So if we make like the exploring being part of the character, maybe we could try a pose, grabbing something and sticking it in the bag. We have that hat that he's wearing. Little hairs. Give him something to wear. Maybe some like shoulder seashells. Ooh, now I want to draw a girl with these things. They look cool. They're like coral or something. Might be too much happening right in the center there. Thinking about changing the layout. Add little seaweeds in the background instead. Okay, that's got some merit. I like that one. The only thing that's a little sad about this is we don't get to see the tail. Thought I have drawn a lot of tails. It's not that big of a sacrifice. I also don't know what I want the bag to look like. I mean, you could keep things in here, like a pencil. Oh, I'm so scared I'm gonna actually lose it in there. Maybe if you had a strap coming out of here and here. Oh, hey, there you go. Try that. Triangle kind of comes up. Could work. It could work. It could work. Okay, I'm kind of excited. Let me try this. Let me see if I can actually draw it right without having to move our page, because I won't be able to do that when we move on to a separate piece of paper. So I guess it's supposed to look like looking down, torso, hips. Maybe I'll do something different with the tail. Got that shell. Here we can kind of fill up the composition a little more. Oversize the shell a little bit. I don't know. Doesn't quite look like a shell as much as that one does. Ooh, these things help. Whatever these are. Those things on the shoulder. Seaweed. I like that one better. What did I do differently? I think it's the hip. I think I moved the hip out this way. Okay, I don't like this one as much. I'm not sure what's totally different. Just include a little bit of the tail back here. Definitely don't like this seashell. These two are both better. Try this again. Is that better? Little bubbles. Do I want to include a blobfish? I like this one better. I don't know if it's just because it's smaller or maybe change the pose a smidge. Try it again. See if I can actually draw it straight on this time. Okay, I'm gonna change it up a little. What if I have him like sitting a little more? I wish there was a way to make it like a ball cap. That would be fun. Let's add the little hairs. Are these like dreads or something? I don't even know. Probably should decide. This one's not inspiring me. I mean, it might just be the design. It doesn't do anything for me. Like the cone-shaped hat is actually not as cool as I originally thought. I think I just got excited because it was so different from what I normally draw that I've mistaken that for it being a good idea just because it was a new idea. Not like the most like exploring outfit, you know? Like the hat just seems more like armor or like a fancy top hat or something. I feel like it would require work to keep on your head, and like if you're exploring, you don't want to spend time straightening your hat, you know? I mean, I could like slouch it so it looks more like a beanie. What if I make it this design on it? That kind of falls into that idea I had with using shell textures, but on like clothes you'd see every day. Maybe keep these. I kind of like angled them down instead of up because I feel like up looked more like armor. Maybe down's more casual. Seaweed. Maybe a thick seaweed. Like a leather sort of seaweed. Okay, definitely like this hat better. I feel like it's just more casual. Thoughts? Opinions? I think there's too much happening up here and like nothing happening down here. Design-wise, we've got like a satchel, we've got these shoulder things, we got long hair. Maybe pull the hair upwards more. Cool to add like something on the arms. And then we could add those down here too. I don't know what they are. Some kind of, oh, you know what I haven't done? That like, but that's a necklace and that's too much happening up there. Oh, I don't know, maybe these have a little hangy things. Those like shells that you, whatever. These could be those two, but like horizontally. I want this to be like an actual shell. Oh, now we're coming upwards. There goes the casual idea. Yeah, with the like flat hat and the satchel, these things I feel like don't make sense anymore. That's how I'm thinking. Could do some kind of gloves. I mean, it's gonna seem like there's a lot more happening here when I add color, because I want to give it like fish texture and multiple colors maybe. Okay. I like this design better. We could probably do this pose still, but with the newer design. And I just need to figure out the shoulders. I'm not happy about them, but that means I can use them in a different idea, which is always cool. I love seaweed, you know, as always. I thought I'd have something by now, but I'm kind of just not feeling it. I might go with it anyway. I think it's good to try and push yourself, even when you're unsure. I mean, unless you have another idea to go with, which I don't. I'm probably gonna simplify the pose though, so I can focus more on like getting these parts right, because it's just what I feel like doing. You know what I might do? Switch to pink. Switch to pink, even though I have not planned out any colors yet. Basically what I want to do is kind of just fill the page and maybe soften up this pose a little bit, but keep it very similar. Maybe turn the head a smidge just to make it a little bit more, I don't know, alive. Go sketch it out. Find the features. Cool thing about the first sketch is it really doesn't matter that much because it's gonna look so much different. Just kind of trying to place it in the right spots. I'm thinking I kind of want to move it all over. I don't like it so centered. Okay, not sure about the shoulder things, but if you want a set mind, not sure how big yet. And this way we can include some tail on back layer. Not sure we're gonna get any ears. Not sure about the shoulders yet, so we'll just kind of leave those blank. Pull this arm up this way. Use a little starfish button. Now you can't see this side of the body. Not crazy about the way that placement ended up. It's just not good for the angles, you know? Kind of looks like a newsboy hat now, and I'm not about that look. At least not right now. So if we get rid of the shoulder things, do we have room for this like necklace? Maybe. Maybe. I did like these things. Okay, here's where we're at so far. It's an interesting design. I feel like it kind of works well together. Not sure what it looks like. I feel like this guy hits up Starbucks, the sea Starbucks, you know, quite often. I don't know what that is. Is there a name for that look? And then there's lots of like, space here, so we'll just like, you know, throw in the seaweed. That's what it's for. Fill in our gaps. Make it look like it was all meant to be. Do we want to include a blobfish? I've been trying to include a blobfish every single time. Sometimes they don't get as much effort as others. What if I just stuck blobfish right here? Like looking up at him? Kind of fits there. There's a lot of space on that side now. I mean, I could throw a little more seaweed. Does it solve all my problems? Not really. Probably should have stuck blobfish over here. I mean, we could stick another one. Ooh, I didn't think of that. Double blobs for this one. Ooh, they're a little too lined up. Makes me want to stick another one. How many can we fit in here? I mean, at this point, the sea's the limit. Is that funny? I don't know. Maybe a little one back here. The blobfish harvester. Ew, what? I don't know what I was trying to say. Blobfish school teacher. Can we include little bubbles everywhere? All right. I like it. I think he's ready. Oh wait, I didn't draw in the hair. Excuse me, that seems important. Oh, and I didn't draw in the eyes. Alright, do we do line art next or color? But I don't know what the colors are. Wait. And the blobfish needs colors too, right? And I want to be able to color like the seaweed in green, and I don't want it to look stupid next to the other colors. So all things to keep in mind. So why don't we start with a seaweed color? Ooh, that's a little dark. I don't really have any options here. I feel like that's too saturated. Unless I'm going for pastels. It could work. Let me see what other colors we got. Thinking something browny or yellow for the tail. Oops, this is the one that leaks. I do like the browns. I think the browns suit the character. And then we could do like some desatch. Actually, that green I originally used could work really well for the seaweed. Ooh, maybe even darker than that. We want green hair. I could do a green blobfish. I think I want darker brown for the hair. Yeah, see, these are even colors I don't get to use that often, which is fun. Maybe some green eyes. Might need something even darker for the shell on the top. Kind of blend those out. Obviously it'll be a little more intricate. There's extra little things going on. But for an overall color scheme, it is what I had in mind. Do I want like a pop of something else? Maybe like a coral? I mean, you could do it on like a blobfish or something. Maybe even if it's just for like blush, just to bring a little pink. Potentially, that's not bad. Okay, here's my colors. I've decided to not care too much and just do. I feel like I'm just in one of those moods where I need to do instead of think. So let's go ahead and do, shall we? So what did I use for the skin tone? Actually, I should lighten the sketch first. Try to pick up the extra pigment. Okay. Alright, let's use this pale chiffon color for our first layer of skin to just see how that looks. Sometimes colors look a little different on this paper compared to my sketchbook, so. Okay, this may not have been what I used for the skin tone. Maybe I did use the more saturated color. This just seems too bright. I'll just use this first. Always layer it with something else. And this is so light that like if I go over areas that need to be a different color, I could probably just go right on top. No worries there. Okay, there we go. Got a nice base layer down. It's so light though, I definitely want it to be darker. I picture him a little more tan, but we're also gonna have like dark brown, so I don't want to play with the contrast too much until I see what the brown looks like. I would love this sort of color for the tail. It's got this design. That's potential. Sand just poured out of here. The ocean came to me. Yeah, fun surprises. I'm gonna start with the lightest brown and we'll just build layers for the tail, I'm thinking. Oh, there's still sand on there. I'm like, what's the marker? Well, there goes my chance of getting a nice seamless first layer. Now this hat thing's actually grayish. I'm gonna take a light gray and fill that in mostly towards this tip and then like the bottom half. And then it goes into like the brown spots. No! Well, didn't make it out of the hat. That's a good thing. Juicy marker. It's always that same one. Barely beige. More like barely nice to me. Maybe if I go over this with a gray, it'll kind of like desaturate. And my goal is to recreate this on top of his head. Guess I could have practiced this not on the finished drawing. There's still sand here. That's just never gonna leave. Do I like try and copy that design on here, or do we go with that other shell? Or even this shell? Interesting idea. Let's try it. It's gonna go on in. That actually looks kind of cool. I'm digging it. I could maybe grab a different color and just kind of add that other shell texture. Dang, I need to just not use that color, but it's like the perfect color for everything. That's why I filled it so much. No! That makes me really mad. Maybe I can lift it with a colorless blender. Not really. I'm like real close to tearing up just a smidge. Just having a little crisis over here. I do really like this stripy tail though, but this is a distraction. Might have to make the tail like even darker and then I can have like a darker skin. That's an idea. This was originally the tail color, so we'll just go ahead and throw that in there. Oh, I wanted like seaweed to come in front. Let's just go ahead and color in the seaweed thing. Maybe it'll distract from our nipple explosion. Yeah, that's kind of funny. Maybe it was worth it just for that. But having some more color up here will make a difference. It did help, especially if I like leave a marker right here. It's looking good. I had another green for adding shading to the seaweed. Stitches. Just add some texture to that seaweed. To a nice light brown for this. And then the line art will differentiate that. Maybe make this little guy brown. This one's definitely gonna be green. Color that one in. This one up here can be green too. Little seaweed. That always makes it just more interesting. I don't know what it is, but I like it. Now the hair, I'm thinking this color may be for the hair. There's the hairs. I call them hairs because they seem like such separate individuals. I don't want to lump them into just hair. And kind of blend out this nipple. Really want to use barely beige, but I don't know if I want to risk it. Just gonna say it. I don't want to use Mr. Explodey on the beautiful little blobfish. I might have to use whatever this is. E35. This is E11. Do I have anything between those? Oh, E21. Try that. Yes, he stands out from the green. Really good too. This one I might layer with this just to make it a different color. Blend them together. Guess I'll use this for a little blush. Maybe on the ears. Redo the nipples. Ay, ay, ay. Should have just made them less obvious. But it's too late for that. I'm hoping my Posca pen will come in clutch right at the end. I don't want to put it down until I've finished with all the rest of the colors though. So we'll just have to deal with what we've got. Okay, thinking about adding some line art. Oh wait, we didn't color this guy. What color does he want to be? Maybe the dark green? I don't want to color in this little seaweed. There we go. I think it's time for some line art. Get these guys out of the way, especially you. After I do line art, I might learn that I want to like change some other things. We'll like darken up some areas. We will see. Start with this little shell. The difference a little line art makes. Let's try and be precise with these eyebrows. Okay, I didn't talk through any of that because it was really stressful, but there's, oh, we didn't finish, wait. Got a little depth for the back ones. Okay, eyes. Moment of truth here. Ooh, that's not so bad. Maybe this will turn out after all. I feel like I should use a different color for the face. Could I get away with pink? It could work. I think it needs a little more depth to it though. Is this darker? Ooh, that's better. Okay, we'll leave that for the face for now. Hopefully it's dark enough. Maybe just fill in one little nostril in black. Maybe the other nostril too. Now this little necklace thing. I don't know what this elbow is, but we'll roll with it. Make this seaweed since it's green. I feel like it needs one little extra piece of hair right here. I'm gonna just chuck one in there. There we go. Doesn't that look better? Little blobfish. Ooh, adding liner to these. I've never done that. A little less fun. Kind of liked it better without the liner. I like the little design element of it. Okay, there's a lot of like white spots in there. Fill in the little white spots. This is not living up to expectations. Thinking about making it that dark brown. You know what? I'm not even thinking. I'm just doing. Yeah, that's better. Last blobfish. I guess we should add line art to these. Because that one's got it, you know? Gotta make it cohesive. Just keep it kind of sketchy. I just add some bubbles. And I think we're getting real close to being done. Ooh. Wait a minute. It looks like it's missing something. I mean, I could add a little like blue, like a circled background or something, but it's gotta be the right blue. So we're looking for like a blue-green. That's too vibrant. This is gonna be too light. Might be enough to just add like a subtle pop of blue. Kind of just makes the colors pop a little. Having them next to the blue gives them some place to like rest. Little bubbles. I think we are done. Unless we want to try to fix the nipples. I just think this is gonna be a little weird if I do this. You know, kind of like blend it out. It actually did help. It doesn't solve the problem, but it helps, you know? Oh, I did want to go over this a little. Yeah. Am I done? Oh dear. For some reason it doesn't have quite the punch I wanted, but I love the color scheme. I think that turned out pretty nice. I think this blobfish could use a little shading. Not you, barely beige. There we go, this will work. I didn't get to use these colors. Oh, forgot about those. I have to like blend this in with the tail. I guess they're both tail, but I want them to blend in a bit more. A little shading for the blobfish onto the body. I think that's it. I think it's it. I think this is it. Oh boy. I'm kind of sad to give it up because I feel like, I don't know, what am I feeling? Definitely did something different than I've been doing, which is exciting to me. Here's where we started. We drew a bunch of mermaids, come up with a design eventually. Kind of missed the shoulder things, but I'm gonna have to put that into a different mermaid. So check out Instagram, see if I remember to do that at some point in my life. And then here is our mermaid. Well, merman, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Merperson with many a blobfish. I think that's my favorite part, to be honest. And I really liked drawing the hair, even though it was a little stressful. I do want to thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you've been participating at all with Mermay. Obviously you don't have to draw a mermaid every single day, but did you draw a mermaid at all? And if you haven't, this is maybe your call to action to do that. See what kind of mermaid you can come up with. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys all next week, and I hope you have a delicious evening full of waffles. Bye!